Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is the true name of the Heavenly Father's Son, the Son of Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to my apostles and to my elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and peace and blessings goes to the hopeful elect, my brothers that are out on the highways, pushing his word and his truth in sincerity. In today's lesson, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. But in today's lesson, I don't have any title for it yet, but it's going to be based off this article and this video that I want to show you, brothers. In this article from Natural News entitled War with Russia to Massacre 50,000 Americans every 2 weeks with forced conscription of young Americans now inevitable, warns U.S. Army war colleague. Okay, now, I'm going to read some of this article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But it says, in the autumn issue of the U.S. Army War Colleges, Parameters, a quarterly published referred form that furthers the professional development of senior military officials on national security affairs. A call to action on a possible war with Russia that will kill about 50,000 Americans was presented. It pointed out that the massive loss of service members will also trigger conscription to fill the ranks. Okay, now a few scriptures came to mind while reading this. Okay, the first one is the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter and the 20th verse. Now this video links up with the last, or not the last one, but the few videos I did. A video I did last week entitled "Those That Are Sent Out to War Ain't Coming Back, Not Even in Body Bags." Now this is basically a college that did basically like a survey or a study of what will happen if America, not if, but when America goes to war with Russia, because it is happening. It is going to happen, all right? America and Russia will go to war, and they will not be the only one fighting each other, It's going to be all nations. It's going to be a world war, okay? You're going to have, the BRICS nations, like, you're going to have Russia and his allies fighting against America and his allies, all where? All in the Middle East, man. In this war, before, this war turns nuclear, it will be fought on the battlefield between these nations. And a lot of soldiers, a lot of, people are going to die in this war, man. Okay? A lot of people, especially what we're going into about a lot of American servicemen, a lot of American, soldiers are going to die in this war, man. Let's read Joel 2:20. It says, "But I will remove far from you the northern army." Right, the northern army is America. All right, it says, "and will drive him into a land barren and desolate." When you go into one of America's, the military bases, like the major army military bases. All right, let me see. Show you an example. Oh, wait, this is the perfect map. So the star basically goes into a major key, a major base. Okay, so we all know that America is just like Rome, because it's Rome all over again. And you know how Rome has its military all spread out. Well, America has its military all spread out throughout the world, but when this World War III kicks in, all the military men that are stationed in Germany, Italy, they're all going to be sent here in the Middle East into the land that's barren and desolate. So let's read that one more time. It says, "But I will remove far from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate." That land barren and desolate is the land of Saudi Arabia. It says, "With his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea." Right, so his face toward the east sea is the Persian Gulf, right here, between, Iran and Saudi Arabia. And the utmost sea is, behind, which is the Red Sea. Okay, it says, "And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he has done great things." Right, because you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna die in this. A lot of American soldiers, they're gonna die in this war. Now, this school, they're just estimating that 50,000. They're saying every 2 weeks. It could be 50,000 a day, because you're not only gonna have to fight Russia. They're just doing this survey with Russia. You gotta deal with the Ishmaelite nations, the different Arab nations. When you go into a Second Ezra 16, when it says the dragons of Arabia, Ishmael, and the Carmenians, which are the Persians, which the Persians come from Elam. You're gonna have to deal with Russia's allies like China, these different nations of Africa, man. All right, not only gonna fight Russia, you're gonna have to fight all these different nations. And best believe NATO's gonna, NATO, America versus Russia, Iran, China, all that, all in the Middle East, man. Okay, and there's gonna be so much dead bodies, so much people that that are sent out for war, man. All right, they're not coming, like I said in the video I did last week. You're not coming back, man. Your body's gonna be left out there, man. It's gonna be devastating. This is why it says, the last part, it says, "It pointed out that the massive loss of service members will also trigger conscription to fill their ranks." Now, the word conscription basically goes into the draft. All right, a conscription, compulsory enlistment for state services, typically into the armed forces. A compulsory basically goes into a law. All right, basically means law, required, an established law. Required by law or rule. Okay, so it's going to be a law, all right, that you have to go. That these people that get drafted, that they have to go and go in the Middle East and partake in this world war. It says, and men and women. Okay, it says, what's an example of a conscription? It says, an example of a conscription is the draft system used by the United States starting in the Civil War. The United States has not had a draft since 1973, and that's all going to change when this World War III takes place, man. Which is World War III is biblical, is what John the Revelator, Apostle John, saw in the book of Revelation. And saw on the island of Patmos. He received a series of visions, and he saw World War I, World War II, and World War III take place. That's why he said, the first one I think is in Revelation 9, one war was past, which is World War I, and 2 more wars come hereafter. In Revelation 11, it says, 2 woes is past, and the 3rd woe cometh quickly. And the 3rd woe that cometh quickly is World War III, man. Okay, it is evident, and it's going to happen. This is why you've seen these nations, they're preparing for war, man. Why do you think the United States is trying their best to try to recruit as many people to join the military? All right, because even the recruitment for America to have people join the military is an all-time low. And the people that are joining in the military, they're joining for the wrong reasons. They're not joining to have that patriotic or fighting spirit that they had. They're joining the military to get a paycheck, to have the school paid off. Okay? To get a house, to have a family taken care of. They're not joining the military because they have that patriotic spirit, man. It's not like 2000s when the Twin Towers got bombed. I mean, when they got destroyed, okay? And they invaded Iraq. A lot of soldiers joined, and it's because they had that patriotic spirit. But it's not like that now, man. America's recruitment is on an all-time low. But that's not for these other nations. Let's bring out Joel, the 3rd chapter, in the 9th verse. Now we always go into this. And another, let me just say this, which just has to happen first, another key major prophecy is the RFID chip, the mark of the beast. That has to happen before this major war happens. All right, because the mark of the beast is something that's going to be a worldwide event. It's going to be happen worldwide. It's not just going to happen here in America. It's going to be a worldwide thing. Okay, they're going to require everyone around the world to take this. Okay, but best believe when that comes to pass, so you're not going to have to wait years for World War III, because you're ready. If you don't know, we're already in a second Cold War. These nations are already saying it, man. Between Russia and America. So this is Joel 3:9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up." Right, and this Gentiles is referring to the other nations. All right, it says prepare war, and this is what we see going on. All right, if you're watching, you see these nations preparing for war. They're extending. They're doing a lot of military drills. They're spending a lot of money in the military. Okay, you seen them recruiting a lot of soldiers, training a lot of soldiers for war, getting their soldiers ready for war. What are China tell their soldiers? Get ready for war. Okay, why? Because war is imminent. It can happen at any moment, man. And this is all we've been hearing. All right, when you get scriptures, like, let me get this real quick. And I'll go back to this. Ezekiel 7:25. All right, Ezekiel 7:25. It says, 26. It says, "Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and counsels from the ancients." Right, man. So mischief shall come upon mischiefs, and rumor upon rumor. And that's all we've been hearing is World War III, when America killed Iran's top general. You had all these memes about World War III and all you people thinking that it's a game. But the same ones that thinking it's a game, you're going to be the one that's going to get that draft letter in your mail, or have an army soldier come and grab your ass up, man. Because you think it's a joke. Okay? It ain't going to be a joke when you're ass out in the battlefield and have to fight them Russians, man. All right, when you have to face them Russians, and the truth is, a lot of you are not going to want to fight. A lot of you going to be too scared to fight, man. Okay, but let's go back to Joel 3:10. It says, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right, we see nations like Iran, North Korea, Russia. They're all, which, Russia is not a weak nation, of course. But just naming a few nations that are focusing on their military might, man. Spending their money on building missiles, like Iran. You can consider that a weak nation. And I'm not saying the soldiers or the country weak. Why I say that is because you're weak concerning fighting in America, because you don't have that same that same weapon, the ICBMs, like America has. But Iran, they do. They have nuclear missiles. Okay, why? Because they start spending their money into their agriculture, helping out the people, but they're more focused on building up the military. That's what it means when it says beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right, you're having all these, like Kim Jong-un, they're visiting Russia, seeing all the Russian military equipment, And you recently just had, let me see, I just looked it up too. All right, this is Russia Defense Minister Shogi towards missile drone display on Iran visit, man. So you having all these military pacts, military what's that word? Military alliance, okay, between these nations. Why? Because they're getting ready for war. All these nations are preparing for war. And they know that war with America is imminent. That's why you've seen Iran linking up with Russia, Russia linking up with China, North Korea. Why is it always Russia? Because Russia is the head, man. They're the chief. And they're going to be the first ones that are going to shoot missiles. And they're going to be the nation that the Lord's going to use to destroy America and the land of Israel. Can't forget about that, okay? But as we see, there's one more verse. It says, verse 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, man. Okay? And this is the valley of Jehoshaphat is the Middle East. When you go into the word Jehoshaphat, it means Yahweh Shaphat. Yahweh's judgment, man. The Lord's going to bring all these nations in the Middle East, man, to judge them. This is all happening for Israel's sake. Okay? It's all happening for Israel's sake, man. So, you Jakes, man, that like I said in a video I did, you better leave the military, man. You better leave, man, because your ass ain't coming back, man. It's gonna be a bloodbath. And on both sides, it's a fucking war. It's gonna be devastating on land, sea, air. It's gonna be fighting all type of atmosphere, man. In the land, the sea, the air. Okay, it's gonna be devastating. It's gonna be the most devastating war to beat. This is why it's gonna end up being nuclear, man. But let's read a little bit more of this. Okay, because one scripture that really come to mind when I read this is the virgin shall mourn having no husbands. All right, it says the War College is a U.S. Army educational institution in Carlsea, Pennsylvania, on the 500-acre campus of the historic Carlsea Barracks, which provides graduate-level instruction in tendered military officers and civilians to prepare them for leadership assignments and responsibilities. According to the 13-page write-up, the U.S. Army faced a tragic inflection point after a failed counterinsurgency effort in Vietnam 50 years ago. In a response to lessons learned from the Yom Kippur War, the Army Training and Doctrine Command was created to reorient thinking and doctrine around the conventional Soviet threat. It also emphasized that the ongoing and dragging Russia-Ukraine war is just exposing significant vulnerabilities in the Army's strategic personnel debt and ability to withstand and replace casualties. And because of this, the Army theater and medical planners may anticipate a sustained rate of roughly 3,600 casualties per day. So, they look at the Ukraine and Russia war, and Ukraine is losing that war. They may have it on the news like it's winning, but Ukraine is losing, man. I believe what's that city? Donbass, a city in Ukraine that the war is being fought in. They're saying life expectancy is like 4 hours, man. 4 hours. Okay. If you're in that city in that war, you have 4 hours. That's the life expectancy. That's how long they expect you to live, for 4 hours if you're sent out there, man. All right, Ukraine is losing so bad to the point where they just need bodies, bro. It's not, actually having people trained up and actually know how to fight. All the men died already over there in Ukraine. It's to the point where they're just grabbing up men and sending them out in the battlefield with little to no training. Like I heard, they did a month. You get a month of training. Then once that month, your ass is sent out there, man. Because so many soldiers out there is dying. And you can learn a lot, man, from that. Because think about it, it's going to be so bad out here, man. You're not going to have 6 months. don't get my word for it when they do the draft over here. I don't know how long they're gonna do the training. They definitely not gonna wait for you people to get in shape, man. They'll probably teach you how to, put on your clothes, your armor, how to shoot, reload, and that's it. Who knows? Because they just gonna need bodies, man. Don't, like I said, don't take my word for it. Okay, because you learn from the Ukraine and Russia war. They train you for a month and they send you out there, man. Who knows how they're gonna do it over here? All right, with you people resisting the fight, man, they just gonna probably just grab you up and send you out there, man, with little to no training. But this is a rough estimate, man. If what will happen if these soldiers, how many soldiers will die a day? This is ranging from those killed in action to those wounded in action or suffering disease or other non-battle injuries. And with 25% predicted replacement rate, the personnel system will require 800 new personnel each day. In large-scale combat operations, the United States could experience that same number of casualties in 2 weeks. The article noted and cited that in 20 years of fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, the U.S. sustained about 50,000 casualties. Okay. Look, U.S. proxy war, Kyiv's counteroffensive kills or wounds 800 Ukrainian per day, Russia reports. So 800 Ukrainians die or get wounded per day, man. Just think about that, man. So this is why Joel 2:20, it sheds the light to that scripture where it says the stink shall come up. Because there's just going to be so much soldiers that are going to be dying a day, man. And it's, what this article also sheds light in? What we read in, let's get it. In our second Esdras. (16:33) says, the virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Right, man. All right, because you're going to have a lot of men that are going to die out in these wars. And not just over there in the Middle East, but as well as here in America, man. Because you're going to have a lot of chaos that's going to come over here, man. And so you're just going to have a shortage of men, basically. This is what, you read Isaiah 4:1, right? Let's bring that out real quick. But to get like a better understanding of Isaiah 4:1, let's go to Isaiah 3:26. No, 25. It says, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. And this is why you're going to have Isaiah 4:1. Okay? You're going to have several women. Isaiah, let's read it. It says, in that day, several women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach, man. Right, man. So 7 basically means a complete number. All right, you're gonna have a complete number of women. All right, take hold of one man, and don't think that's gonna be just one man. I mean, don't think Slakia. What I meant to say, don't think that it's gonna be an ordinary man. It's gonna be the elect. That precious gold, man. If the Lord's gonna make us. You're going to have brothers that are going to deal with multiple wives in that day. And why these women are going to want to be with you in that day. And not because they love you or they think you're handsome. Okay. They're going to want to be with you because you're one of God's chosen. All right. They see that you could protect them from what's coming over here in America, man. Because they have no men to protect them. All the men that they have their husbands died in the war. All right. You're going to have a woman that just got married or got engaged and all that. And then here it is, World War III comes. And then they get that letter and they look at their husbands like, damn, they're going to war. And they know they ain't coming back. They have that hope. I hope I see come back, man. You got to come back to me. Nah, man, they're going to die. A lot of them ain't coming back, man. Like I said in my last video, not even in a body bag or a casket. you know, and you know, your husband's gonna be sent out there, and it's gonna be so chaotic over here. You're gonna forget that you had a husband because you're gonna be looking for salvation. Okay, that's why you're gonna have a lot of women that are gonna, you know, you're gonna look for a man in that day. You're gonna look for a man to protect you, man. And that's how it always is. Even you bitches that have a mentality that you don't need a man. You know, you have that mentality now because the system's intact. But just wait until the system fails, man. Ain't no police to protect you. Ain't no phone to call. Ain't no sent men out to save the day, because all the sent men is gonna be out there in the Middle East, man. They're gonna be out there in the Middle East to fight this war. Isaiah 32:2, a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of waters in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So a man is going to be a hiding place, and a man of the Lord, not just no ordinary man, but the man of the Lord, man. Okay? A good movie to watch is the movie Bushwick. First scene, her boyfriend died, and she forgot about him. She wasn't thinking about her boyfriend. She was thinking of making it. She was thinking of surviving. And here it is. She was about to get ravished by the two men, but then Batista came and saved the day. A man came to save the day. So just think about it, man. And ever since that, she stayed with him until he died later on. Yeah, just think about it. You women do need men. All right, you need men to protect you, because your husband that you had, your boyfriend that you had, is already dead, man. And just like how just like how in that movie, The Bushwick, she forgot about her boyfriend. In a second, you're gonna forget about your man, okay? Because it's gonna be that bad. Isaiah 13:12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir, which Ophir is like one of the finest gold you can have. All right, but what's gonna be more precious is a man. And think about it, something that's precious is hard to find. Okay, it's very hard to find. Okay, and you women, man, you gonna wish you had. You're gonna be looking for a man of the Lord in that day. Just like how you had people looking for gold. You have a woman looking for the man of the Lord, because they know that man can save them. Because all you women are gonna be thinking about is to be saved. Because all the men are dead are out in this war, and when you go into the U.S. military, it's not just gonna be men that are gonna be drafted. It's gonna be your women that are gonna be drafted as well. Let me play this video real quick.
Do you recommend joining the infantry? No, it's like literally selling your soul to the devil, bro. Literally. Would you recommend joining the infantry? Fuck no. Would you recommend joining the infantry? Fuck no. Fuck no. Would you recommend joining the infantry?
There is a pretty key difference between Marine infantrymen and Army infantrymen. One of the biggest difference is the fact that the regular Army infantry is meant to be an occupational force, and the Marine infantry is not meant to be an occupational force. They're meant to be a raiding force, an invasion force. So it's not as necessary to have your regular standard Army infantry be full of a bunch of bloodthirsty killers as it is necessary.
See, and you don't have that spirit no more here in America. You don't have that bloodthirsty killer spirit amongst these men here in America. A lot of these men are out of shape. A lot of these people are out of shape. A lot of these people don't have that fighting spirit. A lot of men are effeminate. Okay, a lot of people don't even want to join the military. You know? So, man, it's you can see why the body is going to hit the floor for these Americans, man. You can see.
For your Marine infantry to be full of...
Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be bloodshed on both sides. You know, it's gonna be bloodshed on Russia's side too. Remember, this is a Lord's judgment on all these nations. Okay.
A bunch of bloodthirsty killers. That being said, you definitely don't want a bunch of soft-ass motherfuckers making up your regular Army infantry.
Right. You don't want a bunch of soft ass motherfuckers making up into infantry. And that's true. That's true, man. But that's what you have in a lot, in the midst of in the army and all that. You have a bunch of soft motherfuckers and a lot of women, man. But
Used to
check out what he's about to
mean
say. I ain't gonna play the whole thing, but
Now, if you would have gone to any one of me or my friends when we graduated Marine Infantry School, Marine Infantry training, and asked us that question, we would have said, fuck yes. Why the fuck would you join the Marines to not be infantry? To cook someone an omelet? To do someone's paperwork? To make sure someone gets paid? To do supply? To do admin? Fuck that. You joined infantry because you want to be the tip of the spear. You want to be the one fighting. That's why you fucking join infantry. That would be the overwhelming mentality. That's one of the beautiful, cocky things about a Marine infantryman. I hope to fucking God these kids' unit, these children's unit, never fucking sees combat. I hope to God.
and this is a man that's been out there and he was a soldier in infantry for the Marines, and he experienced how war is, man. And I never experienced it, so I'm not gonna tell you. I'll tell you something that I don't experience, but everyone should know this. You know that war is no joke, man. It's devastating. You have to be built for that, man. You have to have that spirit for that, man. Okay.
Because we are going to see mass desertion on a never before seen scale again. Do you think that the like-mindedness of the people in this fucking video, when they see their best friend get their head blown off by a RPK round, when they see their other friend get their fucking legs chopped off at the knees by an explosion, they're gonna have the perseverance and the mental fortitude to keep pushing forward and accomplish an objective? Fuck no! They're gonna fucking turn tail and run at the first goddamn sign of trouble. This is what happens.
Hey, and people like him are gonna have to go back to war, man. They're gonna, America's gonna call back old veterans and all that, man. It's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be devastating on both sides of the field. But with that, I'll end it there. I brought out all the scriptures that came to mind while going through this article. Now, if I remember, because sometimes I tend to forget, I'll put this article in the description box, or you can just type in on Google, because that's what I did to find this whole article. But yeah, you could read the rest for yourself. A point was made. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash. Shalom.